Hello and welcome to the Strong, Healthy, Happy podcast. I am your host, Debra. As always, I am pleased to be here. Recording my podcast has become a highlight to my week. I record on a Sunday morning. It's become my routine. My husband goes off bike riding on a Sunday, and this is my time to do the things that I want to do and record and plan my podcasts, which I'm really enjoying. This is episode 15. 15. I can't believe it. And I say that quite a lot as when I introduce a podcast. Wow, we're on episode whatever number it is. And I'm still amazed every time I record. And I'm just so happy to be here. And I'm so happy to hear from so many of you about how much these podcasts are helping you. And that makes me so incredibly happy. And I just want to say a huge thank you for listening. If you are new and you are listening to this podcast for the very first time, thank you so much for joining me. Do listen back to some of the other episodes and obviously learn a little bit more about who the hell I am by listening to some of the podcasts I've done talking about who I am and my background, get to know me a little bit better. And of course, you can cherry pick your episodes, listen to the ones that resonate with you. But of course, I would recommend that you listen to them all because they are all very useful and very helpful. Now, on today's episode, I am going to be talking about the importance of focusing on how you feel and not what you weigh, and you'll make more progress as a result. Now, if you listen to the previous episode 14 on scale weight fluctuations and the best way to use scale weight, I already touched in that podcast. I got very passionate and heated towards the end of the podcast about focusing on how you feel and the importance of not missing out the good stuff in pursuit of your goal. And missing out the good stuff often happens. And just as a very quick recap, missing out the good stuff, I equate it to making a cup of tea. If you're so focused standing there waiting for the kettle to boil, you're missing out on doing some other good stuff. What could you be doing whilst that kettle's boiled? Either way, you're going to have a cup of tea, but your journey to getting that cup of tea can look very different. And when it comes to your fat loss goals, you staring at the scales and worrying about the scales and willing them to move isn't going to get you to your goal any quicker. And so taking your attention and your focus away to how you feel will take your attention away from the scales and actually bring you more progress in the long term. Now, how is that possible, you ask me? How does focusing on how you feel get to you achieving your goals? Now, let me just remind you the name, and reminding myself too, right? The name of this podcast, of my podcast, is called the Strong, Healthy, Happy Podcast. Now, when I named my podcast, I thought long and hard about what sort of coach I was, how I wanted to help women, and what I felt was important that women feel as a result of taking care of their health. And being strong, healthy, and happy were the key words that I thought about and that I wrote down when I thought long and hard about my coaching and what I wanted women to feel as a result of taking care of their health. At no point when I was thinking about what type of coach I am. Now, I am a fat loss coach. That's a huge part of what I do. But at no point did scale weight or number on the scale feature high up in the type of coach that I am. It's something that I do, and many clients are successfully losing body fat. But it's how women feel that's the most important factor to me. and the type of coach that I am. And being strong, healthy, happy is really important to me. And that is why I named my podcast the podcast that it is. And I thought I would use this podcast. So let's just talk about what makes you feel good, right? And then I'm going to go into reading out some of my sharing with you some of my client feedback, so you can get an understanding in why it's important to focus on your feet, on how you feel. And when you do this, you will find that as a byproduct of focusing on how you feel and living your life, you will make progress and the scales and body fat will reduce as a byproduct of feeling good. Now, the things that make you feel good are what I call your actions, right? They're the things, your actions are the things that you need to do to make you feel good. Getting outside for a walk, no matter the weather, right? Those of you who live in the UK, it's unpredictable, right? But getting out for a walk, ideally daily, where you can get an outside, where you can get vitamin D and gain the health benefits from vitamin D exposure. Of course, there are going to be days where your steps might be lower, some days they might be higher, and some days maybe you're going to have to walk on a treadmill because you just can't get outside, and that's okay, right? You're human, life impacts, but as a general thing, you're going to try and get outside every day. You're going to try and move your body a little bit more and be a little bit active, whether that means moving about your house a little bit more, getting up and down from your desk at work, parking a little further away from the entrance to the supermarket, and making little changes like that to improve your movement and your steps will impact how you feel. Eating a nutritious diet will make a difference to how you feel. If you eat a lot of ultra processed food and it forms a large part of your diet, it's not going to make you feel good. Can you include processed food? Yeah, of course, but it's going to be the minimum part of your diet. The total amount of your diet is going to come from whole food sources that's healthy, that's high in protein, that's full of vegetables and fruit and fiber. It's going to make you feel good. Ideally, you're going to be doing some exercise that you enjoy. Of course, resistance training is hugely important for women. I mean, it's important for everybody, but I am a women's coach. It is important for women. And if you are approaching menopause and you are not resistance training, you are missing an important element of benefiting your health and managing menopause symptoms. And I'm talking about long-term health as well as your day-to-day health and managing menopause symptoms. And doing these fundamental things, actions, ultimately result in you feeling good, right? If you make an empowered choice to, eat a healthy meal as opposed to, going to McDonald's, you're going to feel good for that. It's not wrong to go to McDonald's, and you can absolutely enjoy a McDonald's from time to time. But generally speaking, consistently forming the majority of your day-to-day actions, you want to be doing all those things: moving more, getting outside for a walk, exercising, and eating a healthy and nutritious diet. You also want to be managing stress and trying as best as possible to improve your sleep quality. Now, I get you might have young kids, you might have a life, you might work shift work, you might be going through menopause and your sleep is being impacted. And I understand that, right? I am soon to be 54. I'm currently 53. And I am going through menopause. And one of the things that impacts me in my menopause symptoms that I struggle with is sleep. But I manage that the best I can. And that's a whole new podcast. I'm not going to go into the details of how to improve your sleep, but sleep does impact hugely how you feel, including your energy and your mood. But when you compound all these actions, all these things, they make you feel good. And as a byproduct, you will most likely lose body fat in the process, if that's your goal, right? You might just have a health goal and you want to feel good. And there's nothing just about that, by the way. It's amazing to be investing in yourself and your health, prioritizing how you feel is a wonderful thing. And I know a lot of women put themselves on the back burner because they prioritize everybody else before themselves. And so prioritizing your health is like you putting on your oxygen mask first before saving everybody else. And if you can't do that for yourself, you're not going to be very helpful long term for all the people you love and that are around you. So doing the things that make you feel good are key to you improving your health and how you feel. And as a byproduct, your scale weight will reduce, you will reduce body fat, and you will progress towards the goal that you are after. Now, let me go on to reading some extracts from some client feedback. Now, the reason why I have this client feedback is if you are a one-to-one client, my clients check in weekly and they have to answer various questions, which enables me to find out about how their week went, and for my client to reflect on their week and what went well, what was challenging, what they might do differently, what they've achieved, how they're feeling. And I combine that with the data that I get that's updated on my coaching app, and I combine everything together. And this is the feedback that's been included on some of the forms that I receive back. And this has come in through at various times. And I want to read you out some extracts to highlight the importance of focusing on how you feel. Okay, here we go. I keep reflecting back on when I started with you, how I couldn't talk to you without getting upset. I felt so low, and I thought that I would feel better if I just lost weight. Now I know that losing weight is a byproduct of everything else you've taught me, and the scales are now coming down. You have helped me unpick my previous beliefs and behaviors, and now it's coming together. I mean, how amazing is that? It gives me goosebumps. It's amazing. Okay, another bit of feedback. My wins this week are adding a dumbbell weight to my squats. Now, squat is a movement pattern, can be done at home, it can be done in the gym. This client previously wasn't exercising or moving her body at all. We started off with body weight exercising, and now she has progressed to using a weight. And this is her recognizing a huge win because it makes her feel good. She is feeling stronger. And also, when you exercise, it also helps impact your other decisions for the remainder of the day. It might lead to you making that healthier choice at meal times or going out for a walk later in your day or however your day is arranged. But adding weight to a squat might sound really simple, but it impacts hugely. Okay, another bit of feedback. I am really happy with the way things are going, and I'm happy with the pace as I'm in this for the long haul as opposed to a quick fix. This is the biggest turnaround for me after about 25 years of yo-yo dieting. Like, I tell you, it makes me want to cry because I work with so many amazing women and I speak to a lot of women. I've worked in health and fitness since I was 18 years old. I am now 53. It's a long time. And I speak to so many women, and I was one of those women, right? Who yo-yo dieted, who jumped on every diet going, who focused solely on the scales, who based their self-worth on that number on the scale, and missed out all this important good stuff. And this person is referring to us going at a slow and steady pace, but there is no rush, right? She is feeling good. She recognizes this is a life change, and she's not yo-yo dieting any longer. It's huge progress. This is focusing on the good stuff. Okay, next feedback. I'm feeling strong, fit, and happy. I mean, like, just makes me so happy and so proud. And if you are not feeling good in yourself and you're not feeling fit or strong or happy, please know that you can change this and that you can do it. You can change. I did record a podcast previously about, I can't remember the name of the episode if I'm honest, but I talked about setting daily intentions and trying not to do everything at once, right? So you heard me talk in the beginning of this podcast about all the things you need to do to feel good. If you're currently not doing any of them, choose one thing, make it small and achievable, and try and do that every day. Or the day before, the evening before the following day, write yourself one thing that you're going to achieve the following day. Know that you can achieve it and keep doing that every day. Your intention might change each day, but make it achievable and write it out. Because when you start achieving those small intentions, you are going to feel so freaking awesome that you are going to continue repeating them. And then when you do small things in isolation, those small things might not mean much. Oh, wow, I got out for a 10-minute walk. Great. But you do that 10-minute walk every day. By the end of the week, that's going to be 70 minutes, right? And you're going to be feeling the benefits of those walks compounded. Okay, another bit of feedback. My sleep has massively improved, like literally every single night. That's what my client's written. And with this person, she used to stay up very late. It had become habitual. She was not winding down. She was watching TV, scrolling, etc. She was going to bed really late. And then what happened the following day is she felt low energy, low mood. And because of poor sleep quality, it can, I'm not saying it always will, but it can lead to increased feelings of hunger and less feeling of satisfaction having eaten. And so if you're working towards a fat loss goal, lack of sleep can really impact your behaviors the following day and how you feel. It's not conducive to a fat loss goal. Okay, feedback. I feel so much more in control, and I know that these are now lifelong habits I'm creating rather than being on yet another fad diet. It's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Another point of feedback. I'm realizing that the scales aren't the only measure of my progress. I am feeling more toned and more comfortable in my clothes, and I definitely have more energy. And these are all the things that I wanted. Now, this is really pertinent. Is that the right word? This person has realized that the scales are not the be all and end all. She is toning up, which is one of her goals. She is feeling more comfortable in her clothes and she is feeling more energy. And she recognizes that this far outweighs the number on the scales. Her scales have come down, by the way, but that's no longer her focus. She's focusing on how she feels. Another bit of feedback. I need to remember my main motivation is to feel better and not weigh less. I'm going to read that one again. I need to remember my main motivation is to feel better and not weigh less. There's a reminder for all of you listeners. My body feels strong. I feel strong. Visible changes in my body shape. I'm active and doing things I enjoy and not just focusing on the number on the scales. Now, for this client, she feels good. She feels strong. She's noticing changes. She's active. She's doing things she's enjoying. She's not focusing on the scales. And I'm going to add in here, she's living her life and not putting it on hold while she makes progress. Okay, few more. My weight loss has been gradual and I've made lifelong changes and I'm feeling the best that I've felt in years. Another one. I have more energy and drive. I'm fit, healthy, strong, and grateful. I can't add anything to that feedback. It's amazing. I definitely feel, this is the last one, I definitely feel more energy and I'm in such a good place. I'm getting out in the fresh air for a walk in the morning, which I've noticed shifts my mood. I'm feeling strong in the gym. I even went on a Friday evening, which isn't my usual day, but I felt so good for it. And I think you'll agree that with all the feedback I've read out about how these women are feeling, the word strong, healthy, happy repeats itself a lot. And these are all different people. And I want to really emphasize to you listening that focusing on how you feel and doing the things that make you feel good will enable you to progress towards your goal without solely focusing on your end goal and what you weigh. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Any questions, let me know. Please contact me via any of my social media. If you are interested and would like to do some coaching, please reach out. Please leave me a review. Send me some feedback. Tell me what you would like me to talk more about in future podcasts. Please share me with your friends on any of your social media platforms, your WhatsApp groups, your Facebook groups, your Messenger groups. Please share me and my podcast with your friends. I want to reach and help as many women as possible. And I would be so appreciative and grateful in your help to enable me to do that. Thank you.